Hey guys, welcome back. Right, so in the last video we mentioned that we were going to start on the Mercury. It is a build for FAF, which, as I said in the last video, I've spoken to a hot rod legend, a hot rod artist legend, Lee Good in Australia, who we run FAF together. We've decided that this one needs to have a time limit on it, so it doesn't drag on like nearly every single FAF build does. So I've decided that the end date is the end of July. So basically, I've got 2 months to get this finished. Since it's a tribute build, we don't want it to run on and on and on, and end up finishing on the 1 year anniversary of Gene Winfield's passing. Right, so in this video we're going to chop the roof, but I have come up with a plan for it, because when Gene had his workshop in the Mojave Desert, he had loads and loads of unfinished cars around in the compound, and one kept popping up which really intrigued me, and I would have absolutely loved to see it finished. So this is going to be my vision of what that could have been. Now, I've only ever found 2 images of the car, one recently. So one of the images that's been bouncing around was from the front of the car, and then recently one's popped up of the rear of the car in a different location on the back of Gene's hauler. Now, and then also well-known hot rod artist Jeff Allison did one of his doodles of what the car could have looked like when it was finished. So I will show you those images of what we are aiming to do, basically, and I'm going to try and keep it simple and not do too much. Like, I'm only going to chop it, I'm not going to section this one. It's just going to be cleaned up. But let me just show you those images now. I will go silent because I haven't yet figured out how to talk over images. I'll show you them now and come back to you. Okay, so this is an original body of the car. Well, as I said in the last video when I mentioned this, I got this in a trade from Adam Parkinson. It was a parts kit, but it's an original body. Came with this really cool interior, which is just amazing. Now, I'm not going to use this in the build. I genuinely think this thing just needs displaying on its side, because it is a genuine 1960s upholstered interior. It is beyond cool. So I'm going to display that in a cabinet just by itself. It is so cool. It does have, however, my favourite steering wheel in it, and I'm tempted to take it out because I haven't got any left, but I'm not going to destroy the integrity of this. So we've got this one from an old build of mine. So we're going to use that, but that's for another time. What we are going to do, we're going to chop the roof and hard top it, and then we're going to cut out the sides here, like in the images, and fill that with either polished aluminium or chrome ribbing, which will wrap all around the front of the car. Again, that is something that I need to figure out. And then we're going to use, if you saw in the last image, it had a full width tail light. So we're going to use this, I think, which is the custom part out of a 56 Ford. That was an Alexander Brothers piece. But that, I think, will look really cool. Whereabouts we position it, I'm not quite sure. But the chrome piece that's in there, what I will do is I will spray multiple coats of clear red over it to make it look like a tail light. Got to figure out how we're going to do this grille and wrap it around, because it has to match up with the sides of the body. We'll have to get rid of the chrome trim. We will build another flat sheet chassis plate for it. I am going to use the interior pretty much. I'm not going to chop the interior up, but it will get two-seated. And in this one, instead of going for my go-to normal bucket seats, this one's going to get a bench seat, I think. Just to do something different, but we will do some cool upholstery on it, something like that. Whether I use the stock dashboard, we will see. But what I do have, if I can find it, just give me a second. I do have this, which I've had in the stash for many, many years. It's a 5051 Mercury dashboard, which Rick Hoving mastered, and it's from Replicas and Miniatures, which is designed to fit the AMT kit. So we may use this. I've had this a long time. So yeah, this appears to be the perfect opportunity to do that. Right, so what we're going to do is clear up the bench, and then we're going to talk about how we're going to do this chop. All right. Right, so believe it or not, with all of the wild stuff that I do, I have never chopped a 49 Mercury. In fact, I think I've only ever chopped one car ever, which was a 49 Ford. And that now, I chopped and sectioned it, and that now sits in my friend David Wyckoff's collection. When there's many ways you can chop a Mercury. You can do it with straight A-pillars, canted A-pillars, B-pillars, and that kind of thing. But the general rule of thumb with chopping a Mercury is the rear window gets cut out in one piece. So a cut across here, and then round the bottom of the window in this character line, remove that, comes out, and then the whole window comes out in one piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scribe along the bottom here. I'm going to leave these drip rails in for now. They will disappear. I will cut round here with the scriber, and then I'll put a straight cut across here. Now I could just drop it down, however I want to keep this shape of the window here, this curve. So what is going to happen is I'm going to keep most of this roof intact. I will cut the B pillars at the top, and then leave them in place, partially in place, so that when I drop the roof down, it's got something for it to kind of lean on and it's not hanging in space. Now what is going to happen, I'm going to use this 3mm Tamiya plastic tape as my width. So I did a bit of research, and 1mm kind of equates to 1 inch kind of thing. So it's essentially going to get a 3-inch chop. But when we remove the roof and we remove part of the A-pillar, so we're going to remove 3mm out of this A-pillar, that is going to move the whole roof forward. Okay, so kind of like the angle of the roof, but what it will do is, I say, it will move everything forward. So what I might have to do is split part of it here so I can keep the integrity of that part of the window. And then, as I say, the general rule of thumb is remove the rear window in one piece, and then when it's all moved forward, the rear window gets laid down to fit the roof, if you will. And what that will do is give a more graceful kind of sweep to the roof. I mean, every customizer, that is what they're aiming for, is to get a graceful sweep. So I'm going to start scribing round the roof with this scribing tool, which you've seen me use many times. So I'll scribe it bit by bit, but I'll measure out where I want the cuts to be, because I want these cuts to be as clean as possible, because if you make them cleaner and straight as possible, reassembly goes a lot easier. So the first cut I'm going to make is round the bottom of the window and then into around this drip rail. So I'm carefully going to remove that, all of this area here, up until about here. I'm going to lay a bit of tape across, and then I'll make that final cut across the roof with the razor saw. So I'll start scribing that out and I'll come back to you sort of midpoint, because it's really difficult to do this on camera, if you will, because I'm only doing this on my phone on a cheap tripod. So yeah, let me do that and then I will come back to you midpoint. All right, so this is where we're at now. I have laid a bit of tape across here, just some Tamiya plastic tape, which I'm going to remove now actually, because what I've done, where that tape is, I've just gone across with the scriber to establish the line. So let's just take that off. So as you can see, I'll just bring a bit more light in here. We've got a line started there, and then we've also gone round this drip rail here and all along the bottom of the window there. So we're starting to get a line established. Now this is tedious and time consuming, so I'm not going to bore you with that. I will get this rear window removed and then come back to you and talk about the next step. All right. Right, so the rear window is now removed. Fairly clean cuts. So what will happen then is when we've got the roof down, we will lay it down to meet where the roof goes. The next order of business now is, because I want to retain this, I'm going to make cuts along here and then here, just some simple straight cuts, and keep these to one side. And then what we'll do, once we've got the roof in position, we can piece these back in when we rebuild this rear window. As it stands at the moment, as I say, I'm going to keep these because we can use these as sort of mounting points while we rebuild this area, and then we can remove them again, if you will. So I'm just going to cut these points out, but beforehand, because all of this is going to need surgery, I'm just going to take the wind wings out because they're not needed. And the split on the windscreen, it's going to get rid of them quite simply, like that. Yeah, so they're gone. And we're going to have a little bit of a clean up. So I'm just going to make these cuts and then I'll come back to you in a second. Right, so we've got this bit cut out here and they're in a tub. There, we're going to, everything that we cut out, we're going to put in that tub just to lose. So what I've done now since then is I've put some marks on the body where we are going to make the next cut. So we've got the A pillar and the B pillar, like so. So what we are going to do first is we are going to make these top cuts and entirely remove the roof. Then what we'll do is we'll make the bottom cuts. We make the top cuts first because making the bottom cuts for more final cuts, more delicate cuts, the whole of this body is a bit stronger than the roof. So we're going to use our trusty razor saw. We're going to make that top cut on the B pillar. As straight as we can. Again, we're using tape because that is used as a guide. Okay, so we'll cut that one. And the cuts need to be as straight as possible. So that's nicely through. And then for the A pillars, we'll go in from this direction because I want it to be as straight as possible. So yeah, it's a bit eyebally, but at the end of the day, it's plastic. So and then we'll make this cut from here. Sorry, this is really difficult to do on camera. Right, there we go. I know, look, the tape's come off there, but I do have a mark for that, so I can reapply the tape. But that is the roof removed. So what we're now going to do is reapply a bit of tape to that other A pillar. So we've got another guide. Just bear with me a sec. Okay, so a little bit of tape on there. So we'll then so it's a 3mm chop. So that's now gone. But with the blade width, I reckon you're looking at maybe a 3.5 inch chop. them bits. That's the A pillar's gone. And then we'll make the cuts on the B pillar. Okay. I mean, this B pillar is literally going to be for it to rest on while we get the height of the roof right. So there we are, roof's gone and in the box. So as you can see now, that has gone significantly forward. And basically, you're taking the height out of a triangle. But what we will do is mess about with the shape of it. Yeah, so that is quite a significant chop. And then I'm trying to hold it in place here, but then once you get the roof in this way that you want it, we'll then lay that rear window into a pleasing shape. But yeah, I think this is where we'll actually leave this video for now, because it's gonna take quite a bit of fettling to get this right. But yeah, this is where we're at. And what I will need to do is sit it up on a shelf and stare at it a bit to see where I want the roof to go. But this is turning into quite a long video. So as I say, I'll leave it now, leave it here, and we will come back on part 2 of chopping a 49 Mercury. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.